Hey, what's happening, man? Good morning from the lovely California. It's like gonna be 100 degrees again today. That will be enjoyable. Um, it was a cool morning, man. Like I got to start my morning. Like I got to ease myself into the morning. Like a lot of days, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and within the hour, like I'm working, which is true for a lot of people, but it probably feels different when it's still dark outside. Um, but I started my day off with some daily reading. Then I took a nice calm shower, meditated a little bit, cleared my space, got ready for a very enjoyable day, and then spent some time on YouTube and Instagram. And when I was scrolling through the gram, I stumbled across this meme from Diddy that said, "You're never too young to start a new empire. You're never too young to start an empire, and you're never too old to start a new dream." That got me thinking. It's like I wonder if we have our perception of life somewhat backwards. And what I mean by that is I've had the pleasure of being around older people most of my life, whether that was hanging out with teachers in elementary school and just asking a shit ton of questions, or in high school, like all my homeboys were like my older brothers, so they were all juniors, seniors, and above. And then later in high school, like early college, high school, I was like 16, 17 around cats who were 30, 40, 50, 60. And I'll just sit with them and chop it up for a long time. But in the gym too, like honestly, like I saw a lot of people make some very life changing decisions when I was a personal trainer and owned a gym. And what that kind of brought me to is I see more people really find themselves in like their mid 30s or later than not. Um, the reason that kind of struck me as odd is it seems like there's this social stigma that like you should, I guess, be married, have a degree and a house and like all this other shit. And I guess that's probably different now because of the economy, but it's like the social stigma is like if you're 30, 35 and you're not married with kids and have a house, like you did something wrong. And my question to myself was, I wonder if it's really just like out of order to a certain degree. And really, the older we get, the more our attention narrows. So it's like when you're in your mid 30s and you are married and you do have kids, like you probably have a few priorities: your kids, your spouse, your job, and then like yourself. And then like maybe you have a few hobbies that you find important, or you participate in a certain civil rights movement, for lack of a better term. But I know like the older I've gotten, shit, I'm 26 and a half. I'm gonna take that shit. I'm gonna be a kid about that shit. Nigga, I'm 26 and a half. Nigga, I'm grown as shit. Um, like my attention, the things I give my attention to have narrowed. It's like I no longer think like a kid where it's like the world is so big and like, oh, I want to climb that tree. There's a tree right there, by the way. And if I climbed it, my big ass would break it. That's what would happen if I tried to climb a tree now. But it's like I used to climb trees and I used to want to go to the aquarium and I used to want to do like all these different things just to experience. Now that I'm an adult, it's like, yo, I want to read about the things that I want to read about. I want to write about the things that I want to write about. And like I go to work and I probably think about two or three other things, like the importance of, the civil rights movement and how we're all fighting for equal opportunity, not equality. Like I don't think life will ever be fair, but I think equal opportunity is important. I think about radio, communication, psychology, philosophy, and how that really all intermixes into what I'm doing now, and how that really isn't that different from what I wanted to do as a kid, to be honest. Like a psychology philosophy teacher, now it's like, okay, but instead of doing it in like a classroom, like do it on the airwaves where there's a larger format. um and like the other thing, if you know me personally, like you can ask me about it, but I'm not going to say that on camera. So I think it's something to contemplate. I think it's a lot of fun to kind of come into your own and grow into, the things that you select to live life on, man. And like for me right now, what I have to select, what I have to live on is getting my adorable black ass on the road, because I gotta get somewhere, bro. I gotta work. I got bills to pay. I'm 26 and a half, son. Can't sit here talking to you all day, as much as I would love that. And one day, I do believe that would be my reality. But in the meantime, like, let's take a look at it. Let's take a look. There it is. Beautiful California. Except that was the Econo Lodge I stayed at last night. But still beautiful California. Let's take one more look. And I gotta go. I'm gonna miss you.